spent 20 years cleaning the ocean alone. In a world overwhelmed with noise, pollution, and indifference, some stories begin not with applause, but with silence. This is the story of one such man. A man with no team, no funding, and no media coverage. A man who, for 20 years, fought a silent battle to save our oceans, not with grand speeches, but with quiet, relentless action. John Wallace was never a man of many words. He was born on the coast of California, where the waves were his childhood lullaby and the salty breeze his constant companion. The ocean was his first friend, his first adventure, his escape. But as the years passed, his beloved coastline changed. The sparkling blue turned murky, and plastic outnumbered seashells on the shore. In 2004, John went fishing after a long work week. He hoped for a peaceful day, a few fish, and time alone with the sea. But what he pulled from the water wasn't fish. It was trash. Bottle caps, straws, fishing lines tangled with seaweed. That day, something shifted in him. He couldn't walk away. He couldn't pretend it wasn't happening. As he looked around, seeing the debris floating on the surface and buried in the sand, he made a promise, not to the world, but to himself. If I can't fix everything, I can at least fix what's in front of me. He wasn't rich. He wasn't famous. He didn't wait for grants or permission. He picked up a net, grabbed his kayak, and paddled out. And so began his quiet mission, one piece of trash at a time. He didn't announce it. He didn't post selfies. He just started cleaning. Every weekend, every spare moment, rain or shine. At first, people thought he was just eccentric, a bored man with too much time on his hands. Some even laughed. Others said it wouldn't make a difference. But John wasn't doing it for recognition. He was doing it because the ocean needed him. Because the creatures living beneath the surface couldn't ask for help. As the years passed, his kayak aged just like him. His hands grew rougher, his skin tanned and wrinkled under the sun. But his resolve never wavered. Some days, he'd be alone for hours, collecting discarded nets, broken bottles, cigarette butts. Other times, children would watch him from the shore, asking what he was doing. And he'd always smile and say, just giving the ocean a little help. 20 years. That's over 7,000 days. And on most of them, John was out there, removing trash, protecting marine life, and keeping a promise he'd made long ago. No paycheck, no applause, just purpose. His efforts didn't go unnoticed forever. Scientists began to see the impact. Small reefs beginning to breathe again, wildlife returning to previously abandoned areas. But John never changed. He never sought attention. When a local journalist asked to interview him, he hesitated. "It's not about me," he said. "It's about what happens when we stop waiting for someone else to fix the problem." By the time he turned 60, John had removed over 45,000 pounds of waste from the ocean alone. That's 22 tons of trash, piece by piece, carried by his own two hands. He never called himself a hero. He believed that anyone could do what he did, that the world didn't need perfection, it needed participation. That saving the planet didn't start with organizations, it started with individuals, people who cared enough to act, even when no one was watching. And slowly, his story began to inspire others. A group of high school students formed a coastal cleanup club in his honor. A young marine biologist cited him in her thesis on community-led conservation. Families started weekend beach cleanups, saying they were doing it like John. His quiet wave became a ripple, and that ripple became a tide. When asked what kept him going all those years, John answered softly, "They never gave up on me when I was young. How could I give up on it now?" John didn't just clean the ocean. He taught us something deeper. He taught us that one person can spark a movement. That love, when turned into action, becomes the most powerful force on earth. His story is not about trash. It's about tenacity. It's not about pollution. It's about purpose. And above all, it's about the legacy one soul can leave. Not in fame or fortune, but in healing what others left broken. As John continues his mission today, his story reminds us that no action is too small, that every bottle picked up, every beach cleaned, every act of kindness matters, because real change doesn't start with a crowd. It starts with a single heart that refuses to turn away. This is more than a story about cleaning the ocean. It's a story about cleaning our conscience. It's a story about one man who didn't wait. He acted. And in doing so, he changed the tide. This is Soulfeel Stories. If this story moved you, inspired you, or reminded you of the power of one person's love for the world, please subscribe and join us as we bring more real, emotional, and powerful stories that touch hearts and spark hope